name is Bettina. I'm in a group with Maiia, James, and Ghassan, and today we'll be talking about the neighborhood of North End. North End is one of the most popular neighborhoods in Boston, and it has a very significant history that affected the city until today. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the historical evolution of the neighborhood started in the 17th century. And the neighborhood at that time was super wealthy. The population was increasing. Therefore, they had enough money to support the church on their own. The church, North Meeting House, was built in an area which is now known as the North Square. In the North Square are held the community of life meetings. The minister of the church would attract people to the neighborhood so that it would be a higher class neighborhood. Remembering that the church is almost always the richest income. Due to a large fire in 1676 in the meeting house, the minister's house and building were destroyed. Soon, the meeting house was rebuilt. Later, on the site of the Mather House, the Paul Reverend House was built. A portion of the Cops Hill was converted into a cemetery known as the North Burying Ground. Now it's known as the Cops Hill Burying Ground. Now we have the 18th century, and by that time, North End became a very, very wealthy neighborhood. People with money and power were taking over the neighborhood, but still share it with people with a lower income, such as artisans, journeymen, labor, servants, and slaves. On the Unity Street, 2 brick townhouses from this area still stand: the Pierce Richborn House and the Ebenezer Clough House. In the 19th century, North End was dominated by Jews and Italian immigrants. In the early 20th century, the Prince Macaroni Company, founded by 3 Italian immigrants, is one example of a great business created in this society. At the same time, the city of Boston improved numerous public facilities in the neighborhood, including the construction of Christopher Columbus School, now a condominium building, a public bathhouse, and a branch of the Boston Public Library. These investments, as well as the construction of Paul Revere Mall, also known as the Prado, aided in the modernization of the North End. In the 20th century, the Spanish influenza pandemic struck the densely populated North End hard in 1918. So many children were orphaned as a result of the pandemic that the city established the home so that the Italian children would take responsibility in caring for them. The Purity Distilling Company's 2.3 million gas molasses storage tank exploded in the following year, causing the Great Molasses Flood. A 25-foot molasses wave swept down the commercial street towards the waterfront, destroying everything in its path. The wave killed 21 people, injured 150, and caused $100 million in damage in today's money. The central artery was demolished and replaced by the big artery from the late 20th century to the early 21st century. Here we got 2 different maps, one from 1743 and one from 2014. Obviously, they're very far apart, but you can see how much the neighborhood changed and how the structure of the neighborhood changed. The map from 1743 was found in Boston's Public Library and was made by William Prince. And this one is from 2014. You can find it online, but it's very, very important to see how much the whole neighborhood changed, even like the structure of like the buildings. This is a map timeline of the urban renewal, and there are 3 different maps, one from 1896, one from 1909, and one from 1951, and you can see the difference between them. The last one from the first one, the last one specifically is more spaced out, while the first one everything is more in place together, and yeah. So now we're going to talk a little bit about immigrants, the old and new in the neighborhood. The Irish retained their dominance, but they had to share the neighborhood with newcomers, primarily Russians and Polish Jews and Italians, who showed up around the 1860s and the 1870s. These 2 groups would outnumber the Irish by 1895. Jews established businesses along Salem Street in a triangular area between Hanover, Endicott, and Prince Streets. Italians arrived around the same time as Jews, but their population grew the most after a few years. Early Italian arrivals in the 1860s were northern Genoese who settled near the ferry port, near the current entrance to the summer tunnel. Southern Italians from Sicily, Calabria, and Campania arrived a little over a decade late. They settled along the North Street, particularly North Bennett Street, where St. John the Baptist Catholic Church was built in 1843 to serve both Italian and Portuguese immigrants. The area where Italians first settled is now known as Little Italy.
Switching to the ethnicity and culture of the neighborhood, according to the 2010 census data, the North End has a population of 10,000 residents, and it experienced a 5% rise from 2002. And to be more specific, 90% of them are white, almost 4% are Hispanic or Latin, 3% are Asians, and almost 2% are Black or African Americans, and 1.5 are considered as other. Moving on to the economic data on the North End, the median household income is almost 120,000 a year, and that is higher than the national average, where the USA average is 62,000. To be more specific, most of the North End residents, which is 60% of them, are earning more than 75,000, where the minorities earn from 25,000 to 40K, which is like 17% of the neighborhood, and 10% of them are earning less than 25,000 a year.
This is the education level of the neighborhood, and if you see on the graph the developmental differences of students as well as the structure of their learning environments. So about 30% have a master's degree or higher, 45% have a bachelor's degree, 12% have some college degree, 9% have high school diploma, and a little bit less, 5% have less than a high school diploma.
Economic forces in North End. There are many high-quality Italian foods for visitors, and there are many streets for visitors, like Hanover Street, and there are many places to go, such as coffee, ice cream, fish market, and restaurant. And in labor forces, 81% of North End residents ages 16 and older participated in the labor force, a higher participation rate than the Boston, which is 16.8. The top occupation of North End residents in 2015, business and financial operation and education, legal community service, arts, and media occupation.
I'm going to talk about jobbing in the North End. The North End had almost 3,000 payroll jobs in 2014, 46% of which were in the accommodation food services. Also, the North End has 0.55 payroll jobs per resident worker, and just 0.5 of the city's payroll jobs.
Moving on, we're going to talk about famous landmarks in the neighborhood. So starting off with the Armenian Heritage Park in the Greenway, with innovative design features, the abstract sculpture, a split rhomboid dodecahedron, commemorates the immigrant experience. And then the Christopher Columbus Waterfront Park, one of the America's earliest waterfront parks of the modern era. In 1974, Sasaki Associates was selected to plan and design this new park, a great playground, excellent views of the waterfront, and a pretty rose garden. Then there is the Boston Skinny House at 44 Street in the North End is an extremely narrow 4-story house reported by the Boston Globe as having the uncontested distinction of being the narrowest house in Boston. And the Paul Revere Monument, one of the most photographed sculptures in Boston, It took the sculptor Cyrus Edwin Dallin 16 years to create and 40 years to install it in its present place. And we also have the Old North Church, and it's officially known as the Christ Church, and it's the oldest church building in Boston, a National Historical Landmark located in the Freedom Trail. The Old North Church was built in 1723 and was inspired by the artworks of Christopher Wren, a British architect. And then the Langun Park is a waterfront park located in the neighborhood of North End, and it was named after Massachusetts State Senator Joseph A. Langun Jr. and his wife Clementina Langun.
There are also a lot of community organizations in the North End. For neighborhood groups, there are Neighborhood Council, Residents Association, North End Waterfront Mothers Association, New Mom Group, and for art and culture, there are North End Music Performing Arts Center, St. Leonard Choral Society, North End Chamber Orchestra. For community news, NorthEndWaterfront.com, North End Listener Review, Post Gazette, ABCD North End, West End Neighborhood Service Center, Friends of Christopher Columbus Park, Friends of the North End Branch Library, North End Against Drugs, North End Historical Society, Responsible Urbanities for FIDO, and for Sports League, North End Athletic Association, Nazaro Community Center.
In the 1960s, Boston Redevelopment Authority wanted to redesign the downtown waterfront by creating a 6-lane boulevard next to the elevated by demolishing 2 blocks of buildings. In the 1970s, North End residents organized themselves in order to suggest Borough to revise this plan of urban renewal. In 1972, Boston Redevelopment Authority agreed to save the old buildings of North End and design a narrow boulevard. The waterfront was improved without light changings and residents' displacement after completing renovations for Quincy Market in 1976. The North End embankment was called an example of model urban renewal. Unfortunately, urban renewal has caused some problems such as gentrification. Peter Pellegrino led a community group against gentrification in favor of making the North End as a historic district. Boston Redevelopment Authority hopes to revitalize a key part of downtown Boston, as well as establish a functional connection between surrounding areas of the North End, the financial district, and government center. Boston Planning and Development Agency also aims to encourage pedestrians to enjoy the harbor. To boost tourism, BTA plans to develop maritime or sea-oriented events that will highlight Boston's historic connection to the water.
Definitely, why not? Okay then, tell us more. Did you grow up here or you are here to work?
I was born in Cambridge, which is right next to Boston, but then I was raised in the Midwest, and I'm back here since I was an adult, and this is my passion, playing this instrument.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how is it like working in the North End? Do you feel that there is a sense of community while you work here, or do you really miss it since you're in the middle of the city?
I feel that this is my favorite place because so many people from all over the world come here, and as an entertainer, that's kind of the top of the ladder for me.
The building most close inside the history.
Because I've learned the national anthems of every country in the world.
Oh, that's great. That's great. What's your favorite thing about the North End?
What I think about it?
No, what's your favorite thing or favorite things?
The historical aspect.
Can you elaborate more, please?
Oh, this is a tour guide. I stopped and play for a moment.
Oh, sure.
This is Benjamin Franklin's glass harmonica, invented in 1761.
Come check it out. It's awesome. It's an instrument. It works the same way as playing water glass.
I'd like to play for you the most famous song of the...
Yeah, my question was, what's your favorite thing about the North End?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the details of what I told you, the historical aspect. Mm-hmm. Well, because of the Benjamin Franklin connection, because he was born here, and he's the inventor of my instrument, so that's a connection. And it's just it reminds a lot of people from Europe of their home because of the historical European feel.
Okay, interesting. Final question, over the past years, do you feel that the neighborhoods grow up as a whole?
They've been changing. It used to be very much an Italian section before that, like Irish, and then Jewish before that. So, but it's slow. It's been Italian for a long time.
So it's been Italian for a long time.
Yes.
Okay. What about the diversity nowadays?
I think it's getting more diverse.
More diverse,
Yeah.
huh? Okay.
Because there are a lot of younger people coming, and I think the older Italian generation is kind of dying out.
I see. Does this, being young people coming to the North End, does this fell apart the community sense here? Since, like, before it was Italian, so there's the sense of community by these foreign people coming to North End.
Well, I think it's more of a community of young people, I'm feeling. As the young people are excited to be here. They feel it's a very interesting part of town, and it's very coveted. It's a very high-end location. Everybody wants to be here because it's a very big tourist attraction. It's very exciting. A lot of restaurants and bars.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We'll keep you updated regarding the music. Hopefully,
If it works out, then
definitely.
then that would be like a huge. I was just thinking maybe someone can. I can get the Russian national anthem today, and you're the last piece of people who showed up. If it works, that will be really exciting.
Yeah, the angels of the day.
Yes.
Yeah, we just. Okay, regarding the Omani flag, the Omani anthem.
She's going to get it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very much.
Paka. Of the American Revolution. It's called Chester, and it was written by William Billings. Let tyrants shake their iron rods, and slavery clank its dollar.